According to the World Health Organization, the global prevalence of anxiety and depression increased by a massive 25% in the first year of the COVID-19 pandemic, with young people the worst hit. Concerns about potential increases in mental health conditions had already prompted 90% of countries surveyed to include mental health.
I'm Zeph and I'm 17.
Are you diagnosed of mental health issue?
Yes,
What makes or urged you to seek professional help?
siguro hindi, wala. Kasi yung ate ko kasi yung pumilit sa akin na magpatingin. Pero gusto ko naman talaga kaso ang iniisip ko kasi mahal. Kaya parang ayoko rin. Pero siya yung pumilit. Kaya yun.
What mental health issue are you diagnosed of? And for how long were you diagnosed of?
Depression. And 10 months na.
When and at what hospital did you go to?
Nung first time, it's September last year, 2021. Then, clinic siya eh. So, hindi ko na matandaan. Pero yung pangalawa, sa Amang.
Did you get therapy?
Hindi. Lang. Ang tawag dito. Nagpa-consult lang. Kasi ayoko rin tumuloy.
Do you have someone you can talk or share your thoughts and problems with?
Meron naman.
Who is this person?
Yung pinsan ko.
What makes you calm?
Siguro, paglalakad. Paglalakad. Lakad.
What can you share or advise to people who are also dealing with mental health issues?
Siguro, pag nahihirapan siguro sila sa sarili nila, siguro mag-ask talaga ng help. Kahit makikinig lang. Kasi mahalaga yun. Mahalaga na napapakinggan ka. Lalo na pag mismong ikaw hindi mo na maintindihan yung sarili mo. Mahalaga talaga yung pag-open mo sa iba. Pero dapat reliable yung pinag-openan mo. Hindi lang kung sino-sino dyan na makita. Dapat mapagkakatiwalaan talaga.
What's the most important thing that you've learned while dealing with your mental health condition?
Kung mahalaga na may napag-openan ka, mahalaga rin yung sarili mo. Kasi hindi lahat ng oras merong nandyan para sa'yo. Meron kasi lang kanya-kanyang buhay. Kaya matuto ka na mag-isa lang. Kasi in the end of the day, ikaw lang din naman mag-isa eh. Nalulungkot ka lang din mag-isa. Kaya dapat kahit walang nandyan para sa'yo, alam mo yung gagawin mo, kaya mo yung sarili mo.
Ako si Joshua Ryan Tiamzon. Currently 19 years old, turning 20 sometime this May. Studying BS Psychology in Our Lady of Fatima University.
I'm Andrea Flor Victorino, but you can call me Pepay. I'm 20 years old. I'll be 21 this July. I'm currently studying in OLFU Antipolo, same class with Mr. Shampton.
What do you know about mental health po?
I truly believe that mental health is just as important as physical health. Kasi, kumbaga parang, ito yung driving force natin eh. Even though na we are physically healthy, if we do not have the mental fortitude to do the things that, kumbaga para gawin yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin araw-araw, wala lang din. So parang kung wala kang drive, kung wala kang motivation, yun yung mga factors na meron sa mental health. It's not just about depression, it's not just about anxiety. There are things like motivation, drive that belongs to mental health as well?
Psychologically speaking, it is our very own emotions and our very own overall well-being. These affect how we behave in a daily basis, how we feel, and how we act. Pero yun kasi, that's the most widely used definition for mental health. But I would like to personally define it as something that changes through different stages of our lives. Kumbaga, it does not always stay the same, ang mental health natin. We are not always motivated nor sad, and it changes as the circumstances change. We may bounce back sa isang pangyayari sa buhay natin from such situations, while others seem burdened by it or vice versa. And that's okay, for as long as we know how to lend our ears and our kind words.
Did you choose be a psychology po?
I chose BS Psychology kasi senior high pa lang ako or parang kahit high school pa lang ako. Parang na-foresee ko na or nagkaroon ako ng vision na sooner or later yung field ng psychology will be a much needed field moving forward sa society natin. And goal ko talaga or parang dream ko talaga na tumulong sa tao na nagsasuffer from mental health illness, mental health issues, and syempre from someone who suffered the same problems. Kumbaga parang I want to be there for the person na nagsasuffer kasi parang naramdaman ko talaga na yun yung calling ko.
At first, I was not really planning kasi, or it was not my intention talaga to take this course. I was decided talaga before that I'll take legal management. But I was exposed kasi with such emotions during my senior years in high school. So I did some research about what psychology is and what it can do sa akin personally aside sa kung pwede ko pa siya maging pre-law. Part of the reason why I'm still pursuing this is that although it may sound cliche, pero I really want to be part of those people who battle against stigmatization and labeling people. I want to be able to defend people inside and outside courtroom while also helping them to find ways kung paano makakope up and live freely without neglecting our own mental state.
BS Psychology tackles mental health issues relating to students' struggles today. What are the big factors that affect the mental state?
We've been doing this kind of learning setup kasi for the past 3 years and months. And it definitely changes the way us students perform as an individual and as a learner. And I think the struggle that we face today or that we have today is the imposter syndrome. I have been seeing posts, been hearing people say that, oh, I discovered that I have imposter syndrome. Pero syempre in a humorous way. For the record, ang imposter syndrome ay when you feel like you are a fraud for doing something or for achieving something. Parang feel mo hindi mo deserve yung na-achieve mo or feeling mo pinipeke mo lang yung credentials mo. But the struggle that we have is that we lost confidence for ourselves and we tend to question our abilities. And what we fail to realize is that we are all stuck in this giant floating orbit. And what we are doing now, no matter how big or small the progress is, it matters. And it may not seem like it, pero it matters.
Amidst the pandemic din kasi, no, parang napunta tayo sa situation or parang we were encased sa four corners of our home. So parang wala tayong outlet ng stress, wala tayong outlet ng wala tayong mapaglabasan ng mga kwento sa buhay. Those things are very important sa mental health ng isang tao kasi parang mahirap kasing mapuno, 'di ba? Parang mahirap na yung accumulated stress from school, accumulated stress from yung mga personal stuff natin sa bahay. So, kapag isolated ka talaga, parang your mental health will take a big hit from that.
Could you please share some of your mental health knowledge with us?
In terms of knowledge on mental health, I am very much equipped, especially that I am a licensed psychometrician. With a psychometrician, I am the one who is doing assessments, evaluations, and creating tests, basically. And so, we were taught about the different criteria in whether this person can is showing symptoms of any mental illnesses or disorders. However, we are not allowed to diagnose. Only licensed psychiatrists and licensed psychologists are allowed to diagnose. Now, I am also knowledgeable of the different mental health responses that we can give to people. Now, you have your social workers, you have our teachers, our guidance counselors, our psychometricians, you have your psychologists, psychiatrists. All of these are part of the mental health team.
What are the common problems of people who seek your advice?
Commonly, it comes down to time management concerns, pressure with academics, common family problems, and should there be extreme cases such as issues for mental health, diagnosis of depression, um, unwanted thoughts such as thinking of not wanting to be existing, and yung mga existential crisis. These are cases that are somewhat too difficult or somewhat I am not qualified anymore to handle. So what I do here is make an intervention, immediate intervention, or what you call the psychological first aid, then immediately refer it to our guidance counselor in PLMAR in the college department because she is the one who has the license to handle all these types of cases, especially if serious talaga. Pero when it comes to light cases, I am the one who handles it already.
How did you evaluate and manage people's assessment?
Okay, how do I evaluate this? First is based on its merits, on how they narrate it. I, as a guidance designate, whenever I ask questions, I need to clarify because my skills in responding is basically dependent on how good I listen. So any person or anyone assigned in the guidance office must contain a skill of being an active listener and empathic listener as well. When you say empathic listener, the person must have empathy. He or she must be able to place himself or herself in the shoes of the respondent. Now, as much as possible, we have to be objective in evaluating the response of the counselee or the client. For example, they mentioned na galit siya kay mama niya or galit siya sa kuya niya, galit siya sa ate niya. Now, for you to evaluate that, you must be objective. Hindi ka dapat kokontra agad-agad. Hala, bakit naman nanay mo yun? You have to be very careful. You have, at the same time, you have to learn how to probe or how to ask questions without offending the person or the student. And whenever you ask questions, you must be able to carefully see also the body behavior or the body language, the unverbal cues that we call. You have to take note of that. For example, during the interview or during the guidance session, the students appear to be fidgeting. Ano ba, naglilikot-likot yung kamay or nagkukuyakoy or nagro-roll yung eyes. You have to take note of that as part of your evaluation or assessment to see whether the student was comfortable in sharing with you or not, or even if he or she was telling the truth. You have to be aware of the keywords they are giving and you have to check the consistency of their responses. Kaya I tend to do feedbacking. When we say feedbacking, for example, let me clarify again if I got your response right. You mentioned blank, etc., etc. Is that correct? So you
Yes
see,
po.
I was able to. I just only repeat. I just only repeated what the person said to me, and binalik ko sa kanya to repeat or to clarify whether it was true or not.
What can we do to spread awareness and information about the importance of mental health?
Regardless of what your course is, or kung saan strand ka man ngayon, anong age mo, we can do a lot to spread awareness.
The best way that we can do is acknowledge that mental health is alive and that mental health is a big part of our life.
Kagaya na lang ng, first, let us all be well-informed. It is very, very, very important to be informed about topics na connected sa mental health. Since the topic must be highlighted and put into our tables, we must know the parts kung saan tayo makaka-offend and hindi makaka-offend ng mga tao. And if possible lang naman, let us be engaged in a healthy conversation, whether it may be on social media or outside those apps. After all, ang real battle natin sa mental health ay wala sa mga social media apps. Pwede rin tayo maging volunteer sa different organizations. And para sa akin, ang pinaka-importante is that let us demand for an accessible help para sa people, regardless kung ano man ang societal status nila. Pero for now, if hindi possible yung mga bagay na yon, then let us be kind and let us be thoughtful sa mga sasabihin natin sa ibang tao. After all, ang pagiging mabait, wala naman niyang bayad, so ibigay na natin sa ibang tao.
This is a wake-up call to all countries, not only the Philippines, to pay more attention to mental health and do a better job of supporting their population's mental health.